Tonight, we continue our in-depth coverage of illegal immigration in Oklahoma. State lawmakers are fast-tracking a bill allowing people to be arrested for being here illegally. I spoke with Attorney General Gentner, Drummond, and Tulsa County Sheriff Vic Regalado. You may be surprised by some of the things you hear. Texas and Oklahoma are different worlds when it comes to football. But when it comes to illegal immigration, Oklahoma lawmakers say they want exactly what Texas has.
When the Supreme Court indicated that Texas more likely than not would prevail in its fight, that's when I turned my attention to conversations with the Speaker and the President Pro Tem.
A group of high-ranking state leaders say they are prepared to fast-track a bill now making illegal immigration a state-level crime.
The Biden administration has simply failed to secure our borders, and Oklahoma is being invaded.
Attorney General Gentner, Drummond says this law does not target someone like a mother who crossed illegally with their baby, but it focuses on illegals who are part of Mexican and Chinese cartels that often aren't arrested while they go after big fish.
And the frustration that my agency is experiencing is we go into an illegal grow facility and we have probable cause to arrest the kingpins, those that have committed a crime that we can pin to them. But then we have a whole host of workers that are also members of a cartel, but are not doing anything when we're present that violates the law, but they're there illegally.
Tulsa County Sheriff Vic Regalado has been a vocal supporter of immigration reform, but says if this bill is rushed, it could have negative consequences for local law enforcement and minority communities.
I've never been an advocate for knee-jerk reactions to things. We have seen that done. And I do blame our government for this situation in which we are in. They have failed the American people. And I also am very annoyed that it always comes down to local law enforcement to address.
Regalado, who himself is Latino, says he knows what it's like to be racially profiled and asked about his legal status during a traffic stop. He says deputies should not be stopping people simply because they have brown skin.
I can vividly remember being with my father in Phoenix, Arizona during the Joropeo sheriff and him being pulled over and them immediately asking him if he was from this country. To which he is. And he also fought in Vietnam and fought for this country and all those other things.
Regalado says he wants a crackdown on illegal immigration and the crimes that come with it. But state lawmakers need to consider how someone would prove their status and what that would look like.
If we create an atmosphere in which our immigrant communities will not call us because of that particular mistrust or worry about being deported or arrested based on their legal status, then we will not get called, and what you will see is crime rise in those neighborhoods.
One big question if the state of Oklahoma decides to tackle illegal immigration on its own is where will anyone arrested for being an illegal immigrant be housed? As I reported back in October, shortly after taking office, the Biden administration sent out a letter to jails like the Tulsa County Jail saying unless an illegal immigrant commits a serious offense, they should have access to bond. Tulsa County Sheriff Vic Regalado says even now, when illegal immigrants are arrested, they bond out, they disappear, and they never show up for court.
You're talking about individuals that committed serious crimes, okay, that have been released and are gone in the wind. You know, to commit another crime, who knows?
Regalado says if more people are going to be housed in county jails because of their immigration status, it cannot be an unfunded program that puts a burden on those who run county jails where these people will be held. The state must provide more funding. The bill Oklahoma lawmakers are hoping to copy in Texas remains on hold tonight. But the governor of Texas says he is eager to enforce it. The bill gives law enforcement officers in Texas the ability to arrest migrants suspected of entering their state illegally. It also allows state judges to deport migrants to Mexico. The U.S. Supreme Court allowed Texas to carry out what is called Senate Bill 4 while it is being challenged in court. However, an appeals court put it back on hold while it considers if the law is constitutional. Here is part of what the state is arguing.
Texas has decided that we are at the epicenter of this crisis. We are on the front line, and we are going to do something about it.
So far, the only bill still alive addressing illegal immigration this legislative session in Oklahoma is House Bill 3701. It passed out of the Oklahoma House last week. It expands current state law banning Oklahoma taxpayer dollars from being spent by the state directly on illegal immigrants. 3701 also says nonprofits and religious groups who knowingly and repeatedly serve illegal immigrants would no longer qualify for tax benefits and state government grants.
It does not stop you. It does not make it a crime to provide it. All it does is state, if you do that, if you knowingly provide those services, you no longer qualify to get a state tax appropriation.
Nonprofits and religious groups do not have to start checking IDs or ask for immigration status, but if they do discover they are helping illegal immigrants, they must stop doing so or they could face the consequences. The bill now goes to the state Senate for consideration. Now, there is an exception in 3701 that says law enforcement can still investigate domestic violence and human trafficking incidents within illegal immigrant communities. A charter bus company being used by Texas Governor Greg Abbott to ship migrants to New York City is halting its busing of migrants, at least temporarily. New York City is a sanctuary city. Roadrunner Charters entered into an agreement with New York City to halt its busing operations paid for by Texas. New York City filed civil lawsuits against 17 bus companies in December, seeking to recoup money spent providing housing and care to migrants. The suit asked at least $708 million, the $708 million total from all of the bus companies that have been doing this. In December, New York City mayors said Governor Abbott confirmed he sent 33,000 asylum seekers to New York City since the spring of 2022.